We're about to be watching some of the most eye-opening and shocking videos you can find on the internet, so you don't want to miss a single clip.
Take you inside the infamous and mysterious temple. New footage received by O'Keefe Media Group gives a detailed look at the interior. No one has ever seen this before. Here we go. You are looking inside this mysterious building, and the walls are covered with what appears to be a marble textured finish. And if you look up at the top of this mysterious temple, you'll see what appears to be a detailed celestial painting filled with astrological figures. Despite his alleged vast wealth, the temple seems like a cheap illusion.
That's the temple on Jeffrey Epstein's island.
A set in a stage play that still needs an ending.
Have y'all seen what happens at the airport now if you do not have the real ID, the new license? This is totally dystopian. So first, when Resilient LA got to the airport, the first thing they did when they found out she did not have it was they took her and moved her to the side for like 10 to 15 minutes for everybody to see. So basically, act like you are some sort of criminal or something and separate you. Look how subliminal this is. They give them a red sheet of paper, red of all colors, talking about how they are non-compliant. Think about modern day schools, how they mimic modern day prisons, even like getting in line and doing certain things. It's all subliminal. And then the swabbing of the hands, almost like frisking, like again, like you have been pulled aside and dehumanized by the system that you are not going to walk with. The craziest part is this, not only did the whole ordeal take like an hour, they also swiped her phone the same way they swiped her hands. Just think for a minute of what kind of technology they could have and what they could be getting from the phone. I guarantee there's more going on than meets the eye. Get with the system or we will alienate you and make you so uncomfortable to the point where you just get with whatever we say.
Evolutionary micro machines that will be...
Bro, that's hella weird. That's why at this point I just bring my passport, because I'm not trying to go through all those procedures just to travel to another state.
the workhorses of any world weather control system.
Been telling us since
They're
2022.
Micro electromechanical sensors.
GEMS are global environmental MEMS sensors, a concept that we have come up with that deals with a massive wireless network of airborne probes.
Well, apparently Bill Gates is unveiling a new mRNA lipid nanoparticle jab for billions of cows. And this is going to be specifically for dairy cattle only. I haven't seen any talk through these articles about beef cattle at all. It's supposed to help combat the bird flu that we've seen going through last year and this year. And apparently we have no talk about it now, but now we need an mRNA jab for it. So let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments below. Make sure share it around, spread the word, spread the news. This going into our food system, raw milk trying to be banned in states. It's kind of crazy times that are going on, but I'm going to be posting the link of these articles in my bio. You guys can go check them out, read through the entire thing. Let me know your thoughts on it.
Bro, this dude Bill Gates always trying to jab someone in something with some new type of chemicals in their body to get in their bloodstream. Shit is wild, bro.
1933 Chicago World's Fair on the Jewish Heritage Day. You can clearly see in this video that they were worshiping Moloch or Baal. Now, if this isn't weird enough for you, on this day, the star Arcturus, which is 40 light years away from Earth, was visible. So they used 4 telescopes that were located in different observatories, captured its light, and focused it onto photoelectric cells that were transformed into an electric current that they amplified to light up floodlights for the 30,000 guests at the Hall of Science. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
What about 4 seconds? Wait about 4 seconds and look at the back cloud that lands on top of the rain. The black
Whether it's
cloud.
running for the most powerful nation on earth or sitting in the world's greatest deliberative body, the job requires clarity, strength, and stamina.
Oh, snap.
And the American people deserve to know without partisan distortion.
So the aurora that we predicted last night did take place, but what is this? So the aurora that we predicted last night did take place, but what is that? What is that streak across the sky? Mike Lewinsky in Colorado recorded this during the aurora, which you see on the horizon right there. And that happened during the evening hours of Friday night, the 16th, going into the 17th. And this streak of white light occurred at the same time. Doesn't appear to be aurora related. It's probably from a Chinese rocket that was launched about an hour before this time. However, I'd like you to post your pictures of the aurora that happened on Friday night. Remember, we gave you advanced warning. We also told you that you could post pictures now in the comments. Most of you can. And we'd like to see pictures of the aurora last night and anything else strange. What do you think this may have been? Is it a Chinese rocket? Is it something more sinister? I don't really think so, but what do you have to say about that? It's crazy, isn't it? Now, there was another flare-up this morning that we missed in the United States and southern Canada. However, in the next couple of days, there may be, from a coronal hole on the sun, another stream of plasma reaching Earth. And if that happens, yes, we may have another aurora. I'll keep you posted. I'm meteorologist.
First ever permanent facial recognition cameras
That joint did look wild, though.
are coming to London. They'll scan faces and match them to a database of criminals, hoping to speed up catching suspects in the city and help tackle a rising crime rate. But campaigners are warning that as the first democratic country in the world to do this, it could be the first step towards a dystopian knot.
Of course, hip-hop is not the only musical genre that has been infiltrated by the CIA, and certainly not the first. Many popular musicians of the second half of the 20th century, like David Crosby, John Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas, and Frank Zappa, grew up on military bases.
Bro, that's Hollywood Boulevard, but I didn't realize that they had those symbols up on top. They have like Egyptian symbols up here.
Musicians of the second half of the 20th century, like David Crosby, John Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas, and Frank Zappa, grew up on military bases. They also resided in Los Angeles, in a military intelligence base on Laurel Canyon, where they were allegedly involved in the CIA's MKUltra program, a mind control operation whose real focus was to produce or at least manipulate the 60s counterculture scene. Jim Morrison was one of the earliest to arrive. He was son of the U.S. Navy admiral in command of the warships involved in the operation known as the Gulf of Tonkin incident of 1964, which was used to justify the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War.
There's a conspiracy out there about Laurel Canyon. Now, Laurel Canyon is out in California, and there was a Air Force watchtower out there back in the late World War II area, back in the 1960s. And back then they had a studio there. Now this studio had a sound stage, a editing stage, a animation editing room. It had everything. Now this place, I guess, was used for the atomic testing footage. So all that footage was taken to this studio in Laurel Canyon and was edited there and was processed. So after they got this, they reviewed all the footage from the atomic testing. Now what's really strange about this is a lot of musicians came out of this place back in the 1960s. Actually, all of those hippie musicians that you hear actually came from Laurel.
Well, have you seen this? A shocking discovery in an upscale Rhode Island neighborhood. Police finding human remains on the beach near pop star Taylor Swift's beachfront home. Police say they suspect no foul play after transferring the human leg bone to the medical examiner as fears grow of the potential New England serial. Yikes. John?
New York City will be.
Bro, I wouldn't be surprised if Taylor Swift was out here sacrificing people at her house. Well, all this witch rituals that she does on stage, would not be surprised.
Spraying non-toxic chemicals into the air. In subways, the Department of Homeland Security of Massachusetts helped design this. They're not releasing which chemicals, but they're telling us that it's a response plan for a chemical or biological attack. It's a way for the feds to test to see.
And this is in New York?
Yes. 120 locations across the city.
Oh, in the subways.
Yeah. No.
Bro, what the hell do you even need to put gases into the air for? I think God made this earth perfectly fine. Like, what are you trying to test? You feel me? What the hell?
Most of the locations will be above ground. Some of them will be below ground.
Wonder why they're isolating it to subways.
In one news thing I was watching, they were saying that they've already been doing this for years, but they just didn't say anything. But they weren't spraying these specific non-toxic chemicals. They're spraying another one to neutralize all the toxins from the subways. So they've already been doing this, but now they're spraying new chemicals into the subway airs inside the cars to battle biochemical.
I'm sure most are aware that this building is the Pentagon. What I'm sure most aren't aware of is the two symbols in relation to each other that coincidentally fit. Looking at the building from above, and the entrance up top, an Eastern Star fits perfectly. A star takes mathematical precision as is, and then the center is identical as well. And then if you were to rotate the building to where the entrance is on bottom, this symbol fits. Simply by making straight lines, using the corners and entrance as reference points. These are both just coincidences, of course. While we're in the neighborhood of this topic, ever wonder why the Marines go by devil dogs? Why not angel dogs? Or why dogs in general? And why is devil dog spelled backwards? God lived. And why do they say oorah? And in the army, they say hoorah. Because hoorah is the sun god with the serpent on its head, who we often see references to throughout symbolism. And then in the Navy, they say hoo-yah. Hoo-yah sounds a lot like mocking God. How many are aware that this is a thing? And many believe, including in Native American folklore, that the wisdom teeth is associated with personal growth and spiritual development. If that were true, removing them would likely make a person easier to control.
This is how demons created our monetary system. This mostly comes down to the Knights Templars, whose involvement in banking stemmed from their role as official guardians of pilgrims en route to the Holy Land. To protect pilgrims from robbery, the Templars devised a system where pilgrims could deposit money at a Templar preceptory before departing, and then withdraw funds at various Templar-affiliated locations along their journey to Jerusalem. Instead of carrying gold and provisions, pilgrims deposited money and received an encoded chit, a piece of paper and ciphered information about their deposit. This system gave rise to the word check in English and French. In fact, the word check came from the checkerboard cloth which Templar merchants and bankers used to square their accounts, to quote, check their assets and liabilities. Their banking system evolved into something akin to fractional reserve lending. As the Templars' powers grew, rumors circulated about the Templars' secret wealth, and accusations of idol worship and pacts with the devil further fueled animosity. Ultimately, King Philip IV of France had the Templars arrested, and under torture, some confessed to blasphemous acts and idol worship of a head called Baphomet. Some Templars further confessed that worshipping this demon brought them wealth, claiming that the head prophesied to them and granted them wisdom, made them rich, and quote, caused the land to germinate. Our entire banking system seemed to be derived from communication received by this demon Baphomet. The Templars were officially disbanded by the Pope on October 13th, 1307, and this is the reason why Friday the 13th is so infamous. Despite their downfall, the Templars' legacy lived on through the banking practices they pioneered, which laid the foundation for the modern financial systems of today. Follow me for more.
This creepy video is going viral in Mexico, and it comes from an Instagram user named Jalisco. And so the story goes, his son sent him a video from a museum dedicated to Maria Sabina. And it's worth noting that Maria was a renowned Mazatec shaman, and she was well known for her use of hallucinogenic mushrooms in her rituals. But what Jalisco's son caught on camera terrified him. Take a look.
Shorty over here puffing that ganja. Damn.
Ay, hijo de... güey, ¿qué pedo? ¿Qué onda, amigo? No, no manejo nada de mecatrónica. Es una figura totalmente en cera. Mira, es una pieza total, rígida, no se puede manipular. Te digo, no tiene nada. Te digo, mira, te muestro. No hay cables, no hay nada, no es un robot. Es una figura totalmente en cera.
Now, many commoners were quick to mention that it wasn't only her head that moved. and that when replaying the video, you could see her eyes and hands move. But as always, we know what you think.
Wait, I ain't see it. Did y'all see it? Police sneaky as hell. Those are cameras.
This is not dirt. This is ice. This is our corn on top of 2 foot of ice. Hail. Two foot deep ice and hail.
Punch me in the face and call me Jimmy. What the is this? UK researchers experiment with a solar geoengineering system called Satan. The same company that are set to spend 66 million on experiments to dim the sun. So the company that's going to be spraying our skies with reflective chemicals to reflect the sunlight back into space, which is going to affect the seasons, it's going to affect the crops, and it's going to affect the rain patterns. And they have literally called it stratospheric aerosol transport and nucleation. Satan. Now, if you're anything like me, you know that this guy right here has had ownership of the Earth for a long time now. And if you're anything like me, you know that this guy's reign is coming to an end. It's called Satan's short season. And maybe at the end of his reign, he doesn't care about people knowing that he's ruling this world. In fact, it would make sense that at some point he would want the whole world to know that this guy is here and fully active. But nonetheless, even if he's not, it's very scary that a company that is literally affecting God's work and attacking the system is called...
This video just caught something on camera that's never before been captured. We all know that when earthquakes happen, it's generally because of a big release on a fault, but it has never been caught on camera before until this video. Did you catch that? This video was from the 7.7 Myanmar, Thailand earthquake that took place back in March, and the fault rupture that we see in this video is consistent with the fault that actually slipped because it was a right lateral strike slip. It's crazy that it's taken until 2025 to finally capture something like this, but we finally now have a good idea of what a fault rupture actually looks like when an earthquake is in progress. Now, regardless of how incredible this video is, it does not take away from the fact that this earthquake was and still is, unfortunately, a major ongoing.
At a private UFO event, Luis Elizondo presented this photo. A photo showing a 600 to 1,000 foot silver UFO flying over the US. So this was taken by an airline pilot in 2021 while flying 21,000 feet above the Four Corners Monument. But this thing is giant.
Eliminamos vários ministérios.
Hey, do y'all believe in UFOs? Comment below.
Da máquina pública. E ao mesmo tempo, nós não vamos parar por aí. Já estão encomendados. Deixa eu pedir uma pastilha. Já estão encomendados.
Oh, hell no. Either that shit is fake or that's a real life demon.
Estudos para eliminar. Chega, é muito. Já estão.
Underwater camera captures a loose and tentacle creature 3 miles below ocean surface.
ancient Sumeria, and they apparently came here to mine gold to help fix their atmosphere. What's so crazy to me is this story, what they proposed would actually work to repair the atmosphere to block out harmful UV radiation. How would they have known this thousands of years ago? The idea was to come here, mine gold, bring it back to their planet, pulverize it, and disperse it throughout the atmosphere to reflect the harmful sunlight back. Conditions for mining on this planet were harsh, and so they genetically modified the primates that were already here to create us. That's the story, at least. Mixing primate DNA with Anunnaki DNA. If this UFO situation is the Anunnaki returning after all this time, it could explain why there is apparently a spiritual aspect of all this UFO.
Hey family, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Whatever clip that you guys found most interesting or you had a thought on, comment it down below, because I do enjoy reading your comments. Smash the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace.